Hey, this is Matthew Ricks, and today on the Music Business Newsletter, we got another email from an artist who wants to tell me why streaming sucks. It's about the CDs, bruh. But before we dive into that email, if you have a question on the music industry that you'd like for me to answer, just go to MatthewRicks.com, click submit your question, give me as many details as possible, and we'll answer it here on the channel. Now for the email. He says, hello, Matthew. I hope this email finds you well. It does. Thank you. He says, I've been watching your videos for a little bit now, and I respect your perspective and your history in the music industry. But I need to be honest about something that's been eating at me daily. My videos are eating at you daily? Bro. He says, I'm a guitar player in my late 20s, and I've been doing this a long time. Lately, I feel like everyone in the industry, yourself included, talks about streaming first as if it's the only metric that matters in the music industry. It's not the only thing that matters, but it's majority of what matters. He says, but I think that focus misses a huge piece of the puzzle, especially for working artists who aren't in the top 1%. He says, let me explain where I'm coming from. Please do. Please do. Because I'm going to reserve all thoughts until you tell me why CDs went out 20 years ago and how I should encourage them and tell artists to get them today. So let's hear where you're coming from. He says, when people talk about streaming, the conversation usually goes like this. More streams mean more exposure, more listeners, more growth. Sure, that's true to a degree. No, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. The more people listen and share your music, the more exposure you get, the more people who know who your music is, the more growth you get, the more money you make, the more merchandise you can sell, the more tickets you can sell. That's not true to a degree. That's the whole truth right there. He says the global reach of platforms like Spotify and Apple Music is massive. It's incredible to have a song available to billions of people around the world at the click of a button. I thought you were going to argue with me. I thought you were going to tell me where I was wrong. You're just like, you're making the argument for me here. Here, you know what's coming. You know where the argument is going here. He says, but here's the reality for most of us. The payouts are tiny. You need hundreds of thousands of streams just to make a few $100s. And that's before you pay a distributor, a manager, and a bandmate. What is up? Like, are y'all with CD Baby? Like, where y'all are just giving percentages out? You need hundreds of thousands of streams just to make... Here it is. He says you need hundreds of thousands of streams just to make a few $100s. And that's before you pay a manager or a bandmate or etc. Okay. He says compare that with physical media. Selling 50 CDs at $15 each can generate enough income that would take months of streaming to match. Yes, very true. Who are these 50 people who are going to dish out $15? Who are they? Because if you already got them, why don't you sell them a t-shirt? Because you can sell a shirt for $25. He says, and with a CD, fans get something tangible that they can hold, share, and connect with. How you sharing a CD? Pirating? Hey, I got the CD. I'm going to share it with you. You don't have a CD player because I don't have a CD player, but I want to share it with you. Hey, do you know somebody who can rip the CD and send me the files? Because I don't want to go to Spotify. He says, I've sold CDs at shows and online, and the feedback from fans is always the same. They value it. They put it on a shelf. They keep it forever. They talk about the artwork, the liner notes, the personal connection to the music that doesn't happen with a playlist play. So people value your music so much. They buy it at a show. They love you so much that they buy the CD and they put it on a shelf. Doesn't mean your CD's getting a lot of plays. They keep it forever? Nah. Check back in 10 years and that thing's at the bin at Goodwill just like every other CD is. They talk about the artwork, the liner notes, the personal connection to the music. Do you thank them in the liner notes? Like, who is looking at the liner notes for an up-and-coming artist in a random city, unless you're looking for people you know. But I like that people buy your music and they put it on a shelf like it's a trophy. Yeah, there probably is a trophy because they're so shocked that somebody's still selling CDs in 2025. He says, let's be honest. CD and vinyl sales haven't disappeared. Physical music revenue still grows every year, even as streaming dominates the market. Then he included a link to Music Business News. I don't care. I don't care that vinyl's up 300% from 10 years ago. Like I don't give a crap. He goes, so when the narrative becomes streaming is everything, it feels like you are overlooking the fact that physical sales are often where real money and real fan connections still live for indie artists. No, it's not. You're wrong. You are wrong. Because now the thing with streaming is that it's easy come, easy goes. People will easily check out your music, and if they don't like it, they will easily just go on to the next thing. But to sit here and say that selling CDs is real money because you can sell them for $15 each to 50 people, who are those 50 people? Who are the 50 people that are going to spend? And how much did you cost to make those 50 CDs? And then you have to front the money to house those 50 CDs and get the artwork done and the liner notes. And that's just a lot. He says, I'm not saying streaming has no value. It absolutely does for discovery, but focusing on it exclusively like you do and how you act like it's the be all and end all can leave artists feeling stuck and undervalued. No, I'm not going to get on here and tell an artist to go make 1,000 CDs and they have 998 of them sitting in a garage somewhere collecting dust. That's money sitting in a garage because you sold 2 CDs to people who put it on a shelf like it's a trophy. And then they went and streamed your music on Spotify because that's how they listen to music anyways. He says, I know the industry has shifted. Streaming pays royalties, labels chase streams, and the narrative is built around impressions and algorithms. But I think we're selling ourselves short by ignoring how physical music still creates revenue and deep fan engagement that streaming can't match. This is not true. This is crap. Like, okay, this is you finding 2 people who bought your CD, put it on a shelf, tell you about the deep connection, how they read the liner notes, and now you're making this the new Bible for independent artists. This isn't true at all. This is crap. Physical music does not create revenue when you're an indie artist. It doesn't. Because you have to put the money out to make the CDs. And deep fan engagement, that's not true either. Because you're telling me your fans are putting your CD on a shelf. So they're not even listening to your music. They bought it probably because, I'll drive you home after you had too many at the bar if you buy my CD. And they're like, yeah, sounds great. He said, so my question is real and foundational. Why are we pushing streaming as the primary focus when CDs and physical sales still give artists a much clearer path to income and meaningful fan connection? Because it doesn't give artists a path to income and meaningful fan connection. Unless your target audience is like over 40, 45, nobody has a CD player. Nobody. So you want to shake everybody down for $15 to buy your CD so they can put it on a shelf in their bathroom or something. It doesn't. Because in this romantic story of selling CDs for $15 each, you don't put the cost of production of the CD in there. And if you have people who are willing to drop that money, sell a shirt, then they can go stream your music on Spotify. And now there'll be somebody who'll send me an email and be like, hey, no, not everybody listens to streaming music. Okay, not everybody does, but 98% of music people do. And honestly, let's be real. The 2% are still holding on to CDs and they're rejecting watching music on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. They're not going to listen to your music anyways. They're stuck listening to the new Megadeth album. So this is crap. I hate to be like this. It's just crap. Shouldn't we be balancing the two instead of acting like streaming alone is the solution? No, because you got to put the money out for CDs. And then you got to try to sell said CDs. And the industry cannot track what your CD sales are. They just can't. Well, I could get them a purchase order. Well, yeah. How do I know you didn't give away 5,000 CDs to everybody so they could put them on their shelves in their bathroom? He says, I'm asking not because I want to be combative. I'm asking because I think a lot of artists feel the same way, but don't have the language or platform to express it. Thanks for reading this. I'd love your honest take, Bob. I don't think a lot of artists have this. I think there is a select few artists who are very loud who have this take. I think that there is a select group of artists who probably still have flip phones, who don't want to embrace technology, who they're in their mind. And yes, if you can sell 50 CDs, you will make money. That's not an argument. That is a true statement. Find me 50 people. Find me 50 people who are going to spend $15 on your music. Because I guarantee you most of them are going to go, oh, I'll just listen to it on Spotify, or I'll listen to it on Apple Music, or are you on YouTube? Now, you don't tell me what genre of music you are. You don't tell me how old you are. You could be, an Iron Maiden cover band and your audience is over 50 years old. And yeah, they probably are going to like your CDs. But if you're doing anything relevant in music, your fans aren't buying CDs. But I mean, you do. I mean, who's the person who bought a CD and put it on their shelf? Your mom? Oh man, I just love this band so much. I went to the show. I bought the CD for $15. I was sitting on my couch. I'm reading the liner notes. I'm looking at the artwork, and I thought, hey, I can't play this CD. It's just too good. I value the connection with Bob the artist too much. I'm going to put it on my shelf. So when I invite people over, they can see this random A CD just on my shelf. It doesn't happen. Unless it's your mom or your aunt. But thanks for the email. If you have a question on the music industry that you'd like for me to answer, just go to MatthewRicks.com, click submit your question, give me as many details as possible, and we will answer it here on the channel. I am Matthew Ricks, and until next time, I will talk to you later.